guys, Jamie here. So on today's video, I just want to briefly discuss fasting, okay? Everyone's fasting these days, okay? And fasting, can mean a lot of things, but really what it means is that you're just withholding something that you normally indulge in, okay? So it can really be anything. But traditional fasting that we hear about online and whatnot is dry fasting, water fasting, and juice fasting. And I just want to kind of discuss why this is actually not a healthy thing to do, and why you don't need to starve yourself, stop drinking water, or stop eating food in order to fast, or to sort of cleanse the body. We don't need to do this, and I actually think it's quite harmful and dangerous to do this. I mean, maybe you could do it for a day or two, like if you're sick or something. Just kind of it frees up energy in the body when you don't eat, to allow like for healing in the body. So I can maybe get on board for like a 1-2 day water fast. I can't get on board for dry fasting at all. I think it's extremely dangerous, and we don't need to do this, okay? And even juice fasting. And I do juice, like I'll have a juice every day, and I believe in juices in terms of like the nutrition that they can provide. But when you start to do long juice fasts, there's just a few things that can happen, negative consequences that we really don't need to suffer from. So yeah, water fasting, juice fasting, you're essentially starving your brain of glucose. And some people may do okay on a fast if they have enough glycogen stores, but most people do not have glycogen stores in the world we live in today. So that's why you'll hear about some people who seem to do well on a juice fast, but before, were they eating lots of fruit, potatoes, honey, sugar? They probably had glycogen stores to get them through that fast. Because if you don't have glycogen stores, what's going to happen is you're going to starve your brain, your cells, of vital glucose. And you do that long enough, your brain can shrink, okay? And it will also impact your energy levels, your mood, for sure, your cognitive function, could impact your sleep. You might not actually sleep very much at all. And it's very, very hard on the body. It's hard on the adrenals, okay? So if you starve yourself of glucose for long enough, especially like with water fasting, but this can even happen to a degree with juice fasting. You starve yourself, your brain and your cells long enough of glucose, you will start to have to rely on adrenaline. Okay, adrenaline is what's going to keep your mind sharp, have mental clarity. The adrenaline is what's going to, step in to kind of, make sure you're energized and awake and functioning. But you don't want to do that. Like, you'll end up wearing out or burning out your adrenals when you do a water fast and even juice fasting. Now, the thing about juice fasting is yes, you are getting nutrients, and that's better than water fasting, but a lot of people are juicing greens, okay, and very low calorie fruits, typically, like things like ginger, lemon, parsley, spinach, kale. They'll do green apples because they have less sugar. And essentially, while you are getting minerals and there is nutrition in that, what happens is you're not getting enough glucose. You're not getting enough to actually feed the brain and your cells to function how you need to in everyday life. Okay, everyday life is very demanding. We have work, responsibilities, homes, vehicles to take care of, children, and you need glucose to fuel you through life. Okay, so juice fasting, that's typically how people juice fast majority of the time. Okay, it's much better to get in watermelon or pineapple, but most people aren't doing that. And even still, the problem with juice fasting over a really long period of time is a lot of people will complain after that they can't digest food. They have a really hard time digesting food after a while, because it's almost as if they just shut down that whole digestive system. It doesn't have to operate how it normally does, or function how it normally does. So a lot of people will complain about how they have horrible digestion after, and a lot of pain just kind of going right back into trying digesting regular foods. So, and the whole point is you don't need to do it, okay? You don't need, I believe in juices, but I don't believe in juice fasting. I don't think it's necessary. And like I said, it's not as harmful as water fasting. And then the most harmful of all is dry fasting. I would never recommend dry fasting. Again, not only are you starving your brain and cells of glucose, but now you're depriving them of water. Okay, water is very vital. Okay, it's what keeps your blood thin, oxygen flowing. And if you stop drinking water, what's going to happen is your blood's really going to thicken up. Okay, and then we have organs like the liver that are constantly detoxifying our body, but we need water, okay, in the form of, like, just drinking water or even fruit, like hydration. We need water to flush out those toxins. So if you're dry fasting, those toxins, your blood's going to get really thick, and all those toxins and poisons are going to accumulate in your blood, and you're going to have really thick blood, and it's not going to be oxygenated. So you could be at risk for a heart attack, a stroke, and all those toxins. Like, yes, the liver processes those toxins, but we need water, like living water, to flush all that out. So I never recommend dry fasting, water fasting, maybe a juice fast for a very short period of time. But like I said, a lot of people don't have glucose reserves. And if you don't have glucose reserves, which most people don't, you are going to suffer on that juice fast. And so many people have complained online of the suffering after a juice fast. And they also have, like, with energy issues, mental clarity, brain function, and then also their digestive system. It's almost as if it kind of shuts down, and it takes a while to kind of get it working again to actually eat regular food. So I don't recommend any of these, okay? And you don't need to do that, okay? All you got to do is you just got to eliminate fat. If you want to heal something in the body, relieve some sort of symptom, or whatever it may be, you just want to get healthier, then all you need to do is just eat carbohydrates, aka sugar, okay, and then eliminate the fat. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do any of these fasts. So it's very important to, my preference would be fruit, eating lots of fruit, okay? You can eat vegetables, potatoes, even rice, because none of these things have overt fats in them, okay? While they do have small amounts of fat, there's no, like, you haven't added any overt fats. So you don't need to do any of that fasting if you want to heal something or cleanse. All you got to do is just eat high carbohydrate foods that are low in fat and don't add any overt fats. So that would be meat, fish, eggs, dairy, avocados, coconuts, nuts, seeds, oils. You don't, if you just want to, do a fast, do what I'm doing right now, which is like a fruit and vegetable fast. And that way you can still eat, okay, which we need to eat. You can still, get in the glucose, okay, and it will still allow you to, get your glycogen stores up. And if you just eliminate the fat, the body can heal, okay? It can help alleviate a lot of symptoms. And yeah, so I just wanted to get that message out today, guys, because I see a lot of people online doing all these sorts of fasts. And unfortunately, I've heard some terrible stories about people who have especially done dry fasts who have died. And a lot of them probably had a stroke. Like I said, because if you're not bringing in water, okay, your body is your liver is constantly trying to eliminate toxins, okay, and we need water to eliminate those toxins, to thin out the blood, and it helps oxygenate the blood. If you don't get water in and you're dry fasting, okay, all those toxins are going to accumulate, okay, and it will thicken the blood. All those poisons will accumulate in your bloodstream. It will thicken. And if you have thick blood, that's a perfect recipe for heart attack or a stroke. And yeah, that's what we don't want, okay, guys? So yeah, I just want to get that message out there that you do not have to starve yourself, okay? You do not have to dry fast, you don't have to water fast. And a juice fast, like I really, maybe for a few days, if you're someone who lives a high carb, low fat lifestyle and you want to do a few day juice fast, guaranteed you're going to have glycogen reserves to get you through that, okay? And it's a very short fast. But again, you don't have to do that. I still think juicing is amazing. I add juices every day, but I also eat huge banana smoothies, lots of dates, lots of potatoes, lots of honey and sugar. And so, yeah, so if you want to heal something or eliminate symptoms, you don't have to do any of those fasts. You just have to eliminate the fat, okay? So, yeah. So that's my message for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back again for another video. Thank you. Bye.